She's been burning out. She's done. She's exhausted. And this is something that a lot of agents experience because it is a grind. Welcome to the Loan Daddy Podcast, episode 2. My name is Scott Nadler, and today I want to talk about agent burnout. I recently posted a clip of an appearance that I made on another podcast, and we indirectly started to get into the topic of agent burnout and really ways to avoid it. Understanding how to avoid burnout, there have been studies on this, and the average commission lost for those agents who are experiencing burnout comes to around $80,000 a year. $80,000 a year because you're missing phone calls, you're avoiding some appointments, you're avoiding conversations, you don't have the strength and energy. When you are exhausted and you're really experiencing burnout, the quality of your work is going to suffer. So the agents that know how to handle the burnout are able to keep the quality of their work at top notch and at a top level, which allows them to close more transactions, which ultimately leads to more income. So having this burnout and learning how to avoid it has real impact on your GCI. As I've been thinking about this, I came across this post on Reddit titled "Burnout in this industry is more common than people let on." And I want to read this to you. Been around long enough to watch some really good agents walk away before they meant to. I've had my own moments where I understood why. This isn't coming from a place of having it all figured out, but some stuff I just wish someone had told me earlier. The tricky part is that the habits that build your career are the same ones that quietly wear you down. Always being reachable to your clients, working through the weekend, running at full speed for every client. It all matters, but without some counterbalance, it adds up without you noticing. A few things that have helped me. Make your own stopping points. I had a stretch where I was answering calls at 10 p.m. thinking that was just the job. Eventually, I started snapping at people I cared about and realized something had to give. The work never signals that it's done, so you have to decide that yourself. See downtime differently. I used to panic when things got quiet and fill the time with busy work. Took me a while to realize those gaps were the only time I was actually recovering. Now I try to use them instead of fight them. Notice when hustle becomes a reflex. I love that line. Notice when hustle becomes a reflex. Early on, the intensity makes sense, but I kept running that way long after I needed to, and looking back, it was just anxiety dressed up as work ethic. Find someone you can actually be honest with. I had a year where I was busier than ever and lonelier than ever at the same time. Eventually opened up to one agent I trusted, and it helped more than I expected. Still figuring it out, honestly, but those things have made the harder stretches more manageable. Hope it helps someone. I thought that was a really great post. So this is something that I've been thinking about more and more, and was recently working on a transaction with an agent where it's this agent who I've worked with many times in the past, but on this particular transaction, the agent was emailing and texting and calling virtually daily. And then eventually we hopped on a call, and she said to me, look, I know I've been annoying during this process. She really was not, but she said that the reason is because she's going on a vacation for 6 weeks and really wanted to get this done before that trip, that she's been experiencing a lot of agent burnout. She's been burning out. She's done. She's exhausted. And this is something that a lot of agents experience. I think one of the biggest takeaways, having mentors is really great. Having managers is really great. Family and friends, obviously, but having someone in your industry who is going through the grind day in and day out, just like you are. They could be in your market, they could be in a different market, but having someone like that you can call upon and have regularly scheduled calls with them to vent together and go through some of the different challenges that you're both experiencing. I know a lot of agents that are part of mastermind groups, and just being part of that really helps you avoid burnout. As someone who talks to agents all day long, I hear often how they will lean on other agents in the industry, in their market, to gain advice and guidance as far as how they handle certain situations. And, a lot of the top agents have this abundance mindset where they are willing to help agents, even if they're at other companies, especially ones that are at their own company, help them with any question or problem or issue that they're having. And when you have that type of support system, whether it's some sort of mentor in your industry, in your company, you can see a difference when it comes to their work in terms of their GCI. You can hear more vitality in their voice when they speak because they have support behind them. It really makes a big difference. And there's so many groups out there that I know people are a part of that I've heard great feedback on. Whether it's a coaching program like Mike and Tom Ferry, they're probably the most famous real estate coaches out there. When I speak to people who are part of their programs, you see a difference. You can feel a difference. But in New York alone, there's also REBNY, which is very, very big. There's NIRAC. There's the New York Residential Specialists, NYRS. There's NAR, National Association of Realtors. There's the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. There are all these different groups out there. And when you speak to people who are part of these support systems, from my perspective, I see a difference. You can really see a difference there. This is so valuable for so many reasons. And maybe you are an agent right now who's experiencing burnout because your business is expanding and growing. And that's a high quality problem, and high quality problems seek or need high quality solutions. Looking at the burnout and saying, I'm fed up with this business, it's too much for me. Understanding why that is for a lot of people. This might not be for everyone. Some people might just be starving for more business, and there are other issues and tools that we can come up with to help agents with that. But for those who are maybe a little bit more inundated with too much volume, then it's a question of scaling and how do you do that? And actually on the next episode, we will be speaking about how to grow a team and what things to look for that we've seen have been very successful amongst other agents out there. That's all we have today. Make sure you are subscribed so you get updates on all of the episodes that we're filming. So make sure you're subscribed wherever you watch or listen. And stay tuned for the next episode. All right, we'll see you next week. Bye.